Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with my August TBR. Let's jump into it. Alright guys, I am here with my August TBR. There are a lot of books on it, and that's because I'm giving myself the freedom to mood read. Some of this might change. It is already the 6th when I'm filming this. Who knows what's going to happen for the month, but I do have a couple arcs that I definitely have to get to, so we're going to start with those. So the first one is A Heart in the Body in the World. A Heart in a Body in the World? I'm not sure. I have an arc of it from NetGalley that I need to read and review, so I will be doing that before September because it comes out in like early-ish September, so I need to read that one pretty quickly. And I also need to read Girls of Paper and Fire, which does not come out until October, but I want to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. And these are kind of like the last arcs that I have that need to be read. So I kind of just want to get to it. Plus, this one has already been pushed off once, and I really, really want to read it. A woman of color, like main character fantasy novel, and I'm here for it. So I'm really excited about those two. Those two I definitely want to happen because I want to just get those reviews like up and done and not have to worry about anything so that I can request more and not worry about what I have already sitting and waiting. Then I have 3 books that have been on my TBR that actually just made an appearance in a haul revisit that will be coming up soon. And these 3 books need to be read because I've had them for over a year now and I'm still interested in them. 2 of these are actually the first of another series, like a trilogy. And I want to see if I'm interested enough to continue. I'm sure for one of them I will be. The other one is iffy. So I want to at least start because if I don't want to read them, I can unhaul all 3 and just make some room on my shelves. And that first one would be Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat. This one is hit or miss. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people don't like it until like the 2nd or 3rd book. I have all 3. I'm assuming it's going to be a relatively easy read. This is a male-male romance in a world where I'm pretty sure this guy's like a slave fantasy, historical fantasy, male-male romance. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. I don't know where I fall because it's been on my shelf for over a year now. I actually had the 3rd book of this series in a revisit that was a year ago. This was from one of my very first hauls, and I still haven't gotten to it. So it's been over 2 years and I have not gotten to this one yet. So this one has to happen. I will be reading that one for sure. The next part of a trilogy that I need to start again is Alloy of Law. This is the first of the 2nd trilogy in the Mistborn series, like Cosmere, like in his giant world that he created for Mistborn. And I think it takes place 300 years after Mistborn. I waited a really long time to read this because I loved Mistborn so much, but it was so rich that there was no way to put that series down. I wanted to just binge read them all. And I was afraid if I got sucked into this one, I was gonna have to binge through the rest of this series and it would just like mess up any TBR that I had. But these are a lot shorter, so I think I can get through this one no problem. It's still 300-ish pages, but I know the world, the characters will be different, but I know the world, I know the magic system. I think it's gonna be a lot easier to just jump in. I have to start this, so this will be a read very, very quickly. Then I have The Little Princess, or A Little Princess by Frances Hodgkins Burnett. This one is a classic, a children's classic, and I love The Secret Garden. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and an amazing bookish friend here, Shannon, sent me this because she knew that I loved The Secret Garden, and she said I had to read this one. It's been on my shelf for way too long. It's a gorgeous edition. It's got like art on these inside pages. It's illustrated on the inside as well. It's got these gorgeous illustrations inside, and it's just been way too long. It's been sitting here unread. There's little illustrations on all the chapter headers. I think it's going to be a quick one. Obviously, it's a children's book. It is about 300-ish pages. Yeah, but the font in here is huge. The spacing is massive. I know I'll be able to read it no problem, and it's just been way too long unread, and I really, really want to read it. I got away from doing a classic a month, but that's one that I really want to make sure I get to, so that will be a read sooner than later. Then I have another book on my Nook, which is The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, I think. Yes, The Princess Trap. I'll put the cover up here. The Princess Trap is our Smutty Book Club book of the month for the Book Hangover book show. And that one is on August 22nd is the live show, and that will be on Chelsea's channel at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST, and I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to read it. It looks like it's going to be really, really good, and I want to read that one for sure. I have to read that one. Have to read, not taking no for an answer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books that I have to read this month. I don't have to read anything. I want to read all of those this month. To round out my 10-book TBR that I would like to get to, a couple of these I have on audiobook, so we'll see how that works. What do I have on audiobook right now? I have Now I Rise, which I already have on audiobook, already borrowed. And then I also have One Dark Throne that is borrowed on audiobook, so I should be able to run through those relatively quickly. This is the second of the Three Dark Crowns series, and I really enjoyed the first book. It's like a gorgeous deckled edges, like it's a beautiful book. And I liked the first one. I'm definitely interested to see where the cliffhanger of the first one left off, how this one continues. I don't know when the third book comes out, if it's already out, but I need to catch up on this series, so I would like to read this one. I don't know if I'll read it in physical or if I'll do the audiobook since I did find it, but either way, I want to read this one this month and just catch up on some series that I've just left open-ended for way too long, which is the same thing I'm doing with Now I Rise, which is the sequel to And I Darken, which I really love, by Kirsten White, and I'm looking forward to continuing with that one. I have not started that audiobook, like I said. I do have it, though, on overdrive, so I will be listening to that one, hopefully. Then I have 3 books that I really want to get to. The first one, Anger is a Gift by Mark Oshiro, is one of Natasha's from My Reading is Odd's favorite book. We met Mark at BookCon, and this is signed by him, but I did not get it signed when we were talking to him. He was amazing. His story was amazing. The way that he was interacting with us was so sweet and so genuine, and I've heard amazing things about this book. I want to get to this month. If I do not get to this in August, I will be reading it for Contemporary-a-thon in September. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a pass of if I don't get to this one in time, it will end up on my Contemporary-a-thon TBR 1000%. The one that I definitely want to get to this month is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This one, the sequel comes out, I believe, in October, and I've just been sleeping on this particular series and this book for way too long. I love her work. I really want to get to this one. So this one I definitely want to have happen. I'm also going to throw in one that I'm nervous about. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a wiggle room because I do have a massive TBR already, and it is the 6th of the month, and I just don't know what my reading tastes are going to be. But I am putting it out here. If I do not read this in the month of August, it has to be read in September, and that is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. For those of you that have already kind of followed this particular book's story, I picked it up for a readathon, and it was the Borrow-a-thon. I got it from the library, and I was going to read it for Borrow-a-thon. It was not the right book to try to read in a hurry for a readathon in a week. I stopped reading it, and I was like, it's just not working for me. I wasn't getting into the world enough. I was confused by the chapter layout. I was confused by the footnotes, and I was frustrated. And then I tried to get the audiobook, and I was like, let me see if the audiobook works better. You know, it didn't work for the readathon. Let me see if the audiobook was available. Let me get the audiobook. And I hated the narrator. And I tried really hard, and I hated the narrator. So I have tried to read this twice, in physical form and audiobook form, and I don't think either of the times I put it down that it was really the book's fault. So I want to give this another shot, but I'm aware at this point with my mentality that after already putting this down twice, if the third time doesn't catch, I'm gonna end up not wanting to read this book. And I really want to read this book. So I need to make sure I'm in the right headspace before I pick this up, because I do not want to DNF this again. I don't want to put it down again and leave it unfinished. So I need to make sure when I'm ready to pick this up that I'm committed to it. I want to be in the month of August, but if not, I will get to it in September. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense and it doesn't sound neurotic and crazy, but I want to give it its best shot, essentially. So those are all the books that I would like to read in August. I've already read a considerable amount in August because I did have Booktubeathon that ran through August, and I read 10 books for Booktubeathon. 2 or 3 of those were still the last couple of days of July, but I read 7 then. We'll easily say 7 books in August, and it's only the 6th. So I already read a lot, and I don't want to burn out. I'm feeling a little bit burnt out after Booktubeathon, so I want to make sure that I'm taking it easy on myself. I give all these books their best shot because I am excited about all of them. But that's where I'm at right now for my reading and what my plans are. That's my tentative TBR for August. Let me know which one you're most excited for. Let me know your thoughts on any of them if you have read them, and I will talk to you down in the comment section. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye, guys.